What's a good trick that helps you fall asleep? I make up my own fantasy stories that get weirder and weirder until I get into a nebulous state of consciousness. Then I'm out. Same. I don't even make the stories myself. They just start appearing and they become more and more weird and dreamlike until at some point I either jolt out of it and have to try to fall asleep again, or I somehow fall asleep. Doesn't work for me. The stories always turn into zombies, T-Rex, aliens, survival kind of thought trains that just keep going and too exciting to sleep. Hours later and I swear I could have written books. Masturbating doesn't help me to sleep faster because I always need to pee after, but I can't pee directly after masturbating, so I need to wait. If you're from New Zealand, counting your previous sexual partners or whales. Here's a trick that used to work for me. For whatever reason, pretend there's a psychotic killer in your house who only attacks people who are awake. Now you have to pretend you're asleep, so he'll go away. Regulate your breathing, relax your face muscles, try not to move too much, etc. What a terrible piece of advice. I love it. One trick that works surprisingly well for me is to visualize counting down in numbers by actually imagining the numbers as they're being written on a chalkboard or what have you. Also helps to start at a number where they are about to switch decently, like 7905. For me, my issue is I have a lot of things lately in life causing me a lot of stress. So it's easy to suddenly have a hard time sleeping because I can't stop thinking about these things. I focus on thinking about these things before bed too, but doesn't mean I won't later. Often a mental task like this is enough to get me out of the rut of stressing out about stuff in life and go to sleep. Same. I sort of paint the numbers in my head counting back from 100 and then when it gets to 0 just start again. Eventually I just keep repeating like 10 numbers and then I'm out. I've never seen this anywhere, so I hope it doesn't get buried. A lot of the time I'll have racing thoughts that keep me awake. To circumvent this, I start thinking visually instead of verbally, as in I think in pictures instead of words. Imagining visual things instead of chattering to yourself in your mind seems to make dreaming come on pretty quickly, and with that, sleep. You can tell when you're starting to fall asleep cause the images you imagine start to take on a life of their own. QND become more like dreams. Then you fall asleep. I hope everyone with racing thoughts at night tries this. This year, I've had bouts of anxiety off and on. This used to happen a lot when I was younger, so I recognized it when it first started. I would wake up in a panic at night after spending time on Pinterest until I couldn't keep my eyes open, and then I would be awake for 2-3 hours. Now, this really sucks since I have to get up quite early in order to get my daughter off to school. Enough was enough, so I busted out the sleepy time tea. I drink some about a half hour before bed, and since doing so, I have slept through the night each night. It almost makes me want to cry. I fall asleep easily and rest through the night. They make some with valerian root which helps me a lot. I can't take that shit as a supplement because it always gives me heartburn. But one glass of tea and I'm ready to pass out. Watching ASMR videos. Oh god, same here. So good. Inaudible whispers ZZZZZZZZZZ. Staying up late drinking, smoking cigarettes and doing blow till the morning comes and you force yourself to lay down and repeat to yourself you won't do this again. Is cocaine really that easy to get? I don't know. How much you got in your wallet? About 3 grams. Instead of having an internal dialogue of I can't sleep I think I can sleep and promptly pass the duck out. Also a fan works. You must not be Korean. I have a binaural beats app that I listen to. Binaural beats is basically just this phenomenon where you listen to a different sound frequency in each ear through headphones, and it tricks your brain into altering its frequency to be closer to the difference between them. I just select the mode with the correct frequencies that bring a sleep state and wait. Pick a subject, say celebrities for example, and start at A in your head. Andrew Garfield. Then go B. Bryan Adams. Then go C. Courtney Cox, and so on and so on. If you hit Z, then choose another category. It can be anything. Another way to play is to use the first letter of the second name of the first answer. Andrew Garfield, George Clooney, Christian Bale, and so on. I found that it helps me nod off, and I can never remember where I got up to the previous night. I do what my career Marine dad taught me to do. He could fall asleep anywhere, anytime, very quickly when he wanted to think of a white wall. Other thoughts start creeping in. Think about the white wall even harder. My white wall exists in an endless white place, like the Matrix loading program. There was one time ever in boot camp where the D's had some emergency shit they had to tend to or something. Not like they tell us. But Michael had dropped us off in a classroom and had us sit at the desks. We weren't given permission to sleep, but since it was boot camp and we had never even been given permission to sit back in a chair before, we all went to sleep. We probably slept for about 15 minutes, but it felt like forever with how sleep deprived and exhausted I was. Now, I can sleep by remembering my mindset or the feelings associated with it. These gave us 15 minutes to relax. Better get as much sleep as I can. I get into that mindset, and I'm asleep in less than 2 minutes. Tops. It's not as effective now as it was, but it still works from time to time. Listen to the podcast Sleep With Me. It's a guy who talks in a really soothing voice for an hour and talks about random topics. I put my phone volume as low as possible to where I can barely hear it. Keeps my mind distracted and can learn some things at the same time. Remember to fix the settings so it only plays one episode at a time, so you don't use them all in one night. 1. Don't exercise for at least 3 hours before bed. Exercising increases blood flow and wakes you up. Getting in your daily workout just before bedtime will keep your heart rate elevated and make it difficult to calm down enough to sleep. To keep the TV and computer off for 30 to 60 minutes before bed. The light from the screens can trick your body into thinking that it's still daylight and not time for sleeping. Read, write in a notebook, or listen to soothing music at a quiet volume just before bed. 3. A turkey sandwich with lettuce on whole wheat bread and a glass of milk may help make you drowsy. These foods all contain tryptophan, an amino acid that helps the body relax, though it's questionable whether the levels contained in one meal are high enough to actually induce drowsiness. At least you'll get a nice healthy meal in the process. 4. While we are on the subject of food, try not to eat for at least 4 hours before bedtime. Eating too close to sleeping time can lead to heartburn, which is likely to keep you awake most of the night. 5. You've heard this one before, but it's one of the best pieces of sleep advice around. Wake up and go to sleep at the same time every day. Your body will become conditioned to follow this schedule, meaning that you will become tired and be able to fall asleep at a predictable time every night. 6. Try to condition yourself to respond to a physical stimulus. Every night when you're drifting off to sleep, give yourself a concrete physical cue, something that you wouldn't do at any other time. A good example is stroking the bridge of your nose with your thumb. Continue repeating this movement until you fall asleep. In 2 or 3 weeks, your body will learn to recognize this cue as the beginning of sleep time. You will only have to repeat this action when you're having trouble drifting off to convince your body that it's sleepy. 7. Don't read, watch TV, or work in bed. Associating waking activities with your sleeping space can confuse your body and make it more difficult to use that space for sleeping. 8. Try telling yourself a story in your head. Make it a calm and cheerful story and focus on nothing else. This will help you to block out the day's events and all of the other thoughts that can swirl around in your mind and make it difficult to find sleep. 9. Set the stage for sleep. Make your sleeping space as quiet, dark, and pleasant as possible. Clean sheets, room darkening drapes, and a pair of earplugs will all help to make the room as sleep conducive as possible. 10. If all else fails, there are some very good self-hypnosis MP3s out there which can help you get to sleep peacefully and naturally. The relaxation methods you learn from these programs can help you learn to fall asleep on your own even without listening to the program. 11. Nicotine is a stimulant. That bedtime cigarette may be what's keeping you up at night. Don't smoke before bed, or if you wake up in the middle of the night. 12. Your body's systems are slowed and sluggish at lower temperatures, so sleeping in a cooler room may do the trick for you. Many people find it impossible to sleep when the room is too hot. Turn on your air conditioner, take off your socks, or turn on an overhead fan to get your bedroom to a comfortable sleeping temperature in the summer. Marijuana. You know, I tried that once to stop racing thoughts when I went to bed and just ended up having really dumb racing thoughts. I was so let down. You probably smoked a sativa. Indicas make you sleepy, while most sativas give you little more energy. Light blocking curtains, earplugs or white noise machine. Cool room. Once you've got that covered, get into bed and mentally go over your entire day. From the moment you woke up, right up to the time you got into bed. Include every single thing you can remember from standing up after waking, scratching your crotch, walking to the bathroom, taking a piss, etc. etc. I'm usually fast asleep before I get to what I had for lunch. Okay, this is kind of weird, but I like to put in headphones and pull up a YouTube Let's Play video of someone playing Minecraft. I usually go with a guy called Ethoslab, cause his voice is the most neutral and relaxing. I do this because I can't fall asleep in silence, and music, no matter the type, always carries too much emotion or evokes too much thought. When I try to listen to relax, my mind wanders too much with music. With a voice gently talking about random Minecraft shit, I can close my eyes, try to imagine what's going on in the video, therefore forgetting all the shit that's bothering me in my life. It's not the most logical approach to sleep issues, but it works for me. One thing that can make your eyelids heavier is to blink consistently fast for a short period of time and then close them. You could try it right now and see that they would want to stay shut. But the best thing I do is count down from 100. Typically, I won't make it down to 50 before I'm asleep. I count my breaths, like controlling your breathing and purposefully slowing it down. I like to do inhale for a count of 4, hold for 6, and exhale for 8. Person I heard this from told me it's actually 4, 7, 8, but I like even numbers. Focusing on my breathing keeps me from thinking about other stuff, and I just slowly drift off. If you have an Android phone tablet, get the Sleepers Android app. Put some light, non-annoying headphones on and plug in your phone. Go into settings, lullaby, enable binaural beats, change to Delta, keep messing with volume, and previewing with a lullaby. I do thunderstorm. Exit settings, lay phone next to pillow, and hit the moon button. Activate lullaby. That should help. No lights on. Blackout curtains. Lay completely still. Picture a small blackboard. Write a number on it and stare at it until it fades away. Repeat. Sometimes I can start at 10 and count down. Out in no time. Sometimes I start at 1 and go up, or 100 and go down. I usually switch it up if one doesn't work. If I'm really stressed or know I'll have a hard time, I do the flex and relax trick before I lay completely still. Flex the toes and feet for 10 secs, then toes, feet, calves for 10 secs, then toes, feet, calves, legs for 10 secs. Repeat on up each body section. I frequently have trouble sleeping. Some things that I do: watch a movie or TV series I'm really familiar with to distract myself, but don't mind missing. Listen to an audiobook for the same reason. Have a glass of milk. Read a book. Drink some warm herbal tea. Sit up on the couch for half an hour or so, especially if I've been trying to sleep for a while. Cuddle with my cat. Take a dose of Panadol if niggly pain is keeping me awake. Count backwards from 200. Count upwards from 1. Take over-the-counter calmative type sleeping tablets. If I'm desperate, just turn the light off and concentrate on breathing and being comfortable. Change the sheets. Anyway, sorry you're having trouble. Hope you find something that helps. Stop booze. Eat healthy and work. That is a lifestyle change. Though, if you can't do, I would suggest Zen music and iPads. Also, don't think when you sleep. Sounds ridiculous, though it works. Don't think. What? Like not at all. I can do that. Gonna be asleep in a jiffy. Ugh, I'm thinking about not thinking now. Quiet mind. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. No thinking happening here at all. Oh, it's actually working. Damn it.